It's Dave Joe. Pleased to be joined once again by Al Siesta, friend of the show. How are you, Al?
I'm very well, brother. I'm relieved. I'm excited. I'm fired up, and I'm ready to go.
Good stuff. Kold Wars is on the horizon. Without talking about the setbacks, which we've spoke about off camera, but it's looking good to go. It's going to be on Wednesday this week, and you're launching it tomorrow, aren't you?
I'm launching it tomorrow, and the show is on Thursday of next week. Would you believe that? As close as 23rd of July.
Wow.
Is that your telephone calling?
No, that's my wife's work phone. I'm just going to take it off the hook. There we go. So it's looking very positive. You're out to Belarus, is it, on Tuesday or?
No, I'm flying tomorrow. So those who check this out, those who try to prevent me for so many weeks for me not to succeed, you've got your last chance tomorrow. I'm flying out at 2:30 from Gatwick Airport, North Terminal. So you're welcome to come and try to stop me there.
And for those that have been following this journey, the original shows were going to take place as early as mid-July. Because of the setback, it's still going to go ahead. So talk to us about the show. Who is going to be the opening fight?
Right. Okay. So our original show was supposed to take place on the 9th of July. Then second show on 16th of July, then 23rd and the 30th. It was 4 Thursdays on the road throughout all July. I was one of the first promoters, if not the first promoter, who's supposed to bring these events, boxing shows to the UK. I was the one who wanted to bring UK boxing back. And the idea was Russians fighting Brits, the show called Kold Wars. It was very exciting. I put the matches very quickly. They were fantastic matches, believe me. And I applied to the British Boxing Board of Control and sent them the list of fighters. And then I had refusal. They said, we're not looking over any fights, any overseas contests. And it was week after week after week and after week. And I was tired in waiting and keeping my promises to the fighters and saying, please be patient. And so long story short, eventually I've got my permissions, but only from 1st of August that the UK fighters can fight abroad. So because I'm run out of television dates and I can only accommodate 4 dates because I lost 9th and I lost 16th, I've got 23rd, 30th, 3rd of August and the 4th of August. So because on the 23rd of August I can't have Brits, I call the East versus West, Kold Wars. So it's Russians, Georgians, Ukrainians, Belarusians, Polish. So it's all sorts of kind of European, Eastern European thing. Don't forget, with COVID, lots of countries are still closed. So I can't get the opponents quick enough. And I can't, people still training, but I can't travel. I've got this really, really good Albanian super welterweight who wants to fight on my card, but Albania is closed at the moment, so they can't travel. Yeah. So what's happening at the moment, I put the card together. It's very, very competitive, fantastic. I run through in a minute. So we've got this first show like this, then we've got second show on the 30th in a similar vein with all the great fights amongst each other, Europeans. And then 3rd and the 4th of August are Russians fighting Brits. So it's brilliant. So I've got a bit of everything, man. I've got a bit of everything. And the British guys know what's happening and they're all ready. They're all in the gym. They were really patient guys. I bless you. And I'm really grateful to you to stick with me. You stuck with me. You believed in me. And we are trying to deliver this. And we are all going to Belarus in one day. And they're all coming back in this. After we've done our fighting and everything. So I can't wait. I'm very, very excited. I packed my bag. I got my suitcase. I've got my laptop. I've got 24 pairs of gloves just in case. I
saw that. Yeah, I just saw the picture of that on your Facebook. Yeah, so you're literally taking all these, all the mitts and everything with you as well, which is impressive. On first glance, I thought there were golf clubs, but I had to look again.
Rather, those gloves, those proper 10 ounces and 8 ounces just in case, because it's not been going according to plan, not been going my ways, lots of underground attempts to jeopardize what I'm doing from many levels, but they don't understand. They're dealing with the machine. they're dealing with the machine, the unbreakable machine. The more you punch that machine, the harder is the armor. That's what you need to learn about this. And number one, number two, I'm a firm believer. I'm a God's man. And if God with me, it doesn't matter who's against me. So these two things. So you are wasting your time. Yeah. But anyway, that's what I wanted to say. And the fights are great. I'm leaving tomorrow. There are obviously COVID tests and all that stuff, closed weighing and masks and gloves, and there's all this looks like sci-fi, like a bad film about nuclear power station contamination. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just like that's what we experience, and that's. But anyway, we're there, and in God's will, if that's again God's will, the show will be there on 23rd, sorry.
23rd. 23rd. One of the guys that you mentioned, if you can just let the viewers know, he's an ex-Muay Thai kickboxing champion from the Ukraine. Who is this?
Let me tell you this. First of all, that fight, main event on that card, guy. Let me sell you that event. This is not your ordinary events like you used to. You know how we get in Britain, we get this 50-50 main event, if that's 50-50. You know what I mean? And we got this prospects beating journeyman, then they beating, then it goes to last two fights, and it kind of fairly competitive, 70-30, 60-40, and then we got main event, sometimes great, sometimes not that great. Let me tell you about Kold Wars. Main event. The ex-world title challenger, Isa Chaniev, at lightweight, who's been stopped by Richard Comey last year, who's still a great fighter, by the way, supposed to fight Craig Woodruff from Wales. Isa Chaniev is about 13-1, 13-2 record. Craig Woodruff 10-5. Can bang a bit. It was very nice affair. Craig really fancied the life-changing opportunity to beat ex-world champion, ex-world title challenger, and bring
win to Wales.
Fantastic.
Because they can't travel, I had to match Chinese.
Oh, we're losing some of your voice, Al.
Phone calls coming every second, to be honest. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you loud and clear now, yeah.
Well, lose me on what moment?
Sorry?
What moment did you lose me at?
Craig Woodruff from Wales. That's where we got to. So he's going to be fighting on the card.
Okay, the Craig Woodruff supposed to fight Isa Chaniev. Craig Woodruff can bang a little bit. He's a good fighter. He was mesmerized by this opportunity to bring such win to Wales. He hasn't even fought for the British title. Yeah, and he is the amazing opportunity to fight against ex-world title challenger. And I was so pleased for him. Because they can't travel, and British Boxing Board of Control not allow them to travel, I had to match Chaniev with someone else. But this time, I cannot bring myself to match him non-accordingly to what I'm thinking to do, which is 50-50. And I've been limited with COVID-19. But there's a Ukrainian kid who I had in the locker, who is 3 times Muay Thai world champion, 2 times Total Combat world champion, 3 times kickboxing junior world champion. He's 11-1, and the reason he lost that fight because he's so arrogant that he decided to go from super featherweight to welterweight and try to fight for Ukrainian welterweight title. He lost narrowly on points, 96-94. The name of that kid is Vladislav Melnik. Google him, Instagram him. He is an absolute animal. He said to me, "Al, I'm begging you, give me this Chaniev guy. Please, this is the fight I was looking for." He sent me the picture. I said, "Take the picture for the poster." He's ripped to shreds. I'm telling you, I'm scared. And I sent it to Chaniev. I said, "Bro, sorry. This is the opponent I need to match you against because I need to deliver the ratings and I need to deliver for television." He goes, "I know this guy." He goes to me. He comes forward. I like that type of fight. You know, that. Bring him. That's what he said to me. So I've got the fight, man. I've got the fight. Chaniev, slick, really great fighter against this killing machine. 21 years old against 27 years old. A Ukrainian against Russian, man. You can't write that script, I'm telling you. That's a proper Cold Wars. That's a
proper rivalry. And you know, it's fair to say as well, the talent that the Ukraine brings in professional level, in amateur level, people are going to be watching this. And hopefully this will open up so many doors for all the fighters that are on this fantastic show that you've got going on.
Brother, I want to bring everyone. Guys, all of you breeds 5-1, 5-2, 6-1, 7-0. Everyone, we're all going to be fighting out Cold Wars. All you need to do, call Siesta. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So, sorry. Right. That was a main event. The co-main event, you would love that as well. Do you remember Sergei Kamitsky, who used to bash Brits? He came and stopped Frank Buglioni.
Yes.
And he stopped other matches in Sheffield. At his prime, he was a gatekeeper. If you're beating Kamitsky, it means like you kind of pushing to the world level.
Mm-hmm.
I've got exactly the same kind of animal. His name is Sergei Gorokhov. He's also bald. And he also looks like assassin from Eastern Europe. Exactly the same, I'm telling you. The same kind of guy, probably better boxer, but he can bang really good. 9-2 record, but that 6 stoppages. And the loss he lost to Valery Brudov because the idiot, being a super middleweight, climbed to cruiserweight because he needed some money a few years ago.
That's a big jump, isn't it? Middleweight to huge.
Massive. So that tells you how ruthless that man is. He's fighting proper psychiatric case. I'm telling you who he's fighting. He's fighting Levan Shonia. I'll tell you who that is. This is the guy, if you go on YouTube and type in the fighter beating his trainer up.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen that, yeah?
Yeah.
When he gets bad decision and he gets the rivalry with the fighter and the referee, and his trainer tried to take him out, and he's having none of it. Did you see that?
Yes, that was it went around a few months and a few years ago, that one, didn't it?
A couple of years ago, it was, I think, in Germany. That was crazy. Yeah. Bulgaria. I think he fought Spasgenov, unbeaten guy, and he felt he won the fight. He's been stitched up, and his trainer really wound him up, and it's just crazy. It's crazy. I think we need to run those clips on Twitter to remind people. All I want to say, this crazy geezer is back on Cold Wars. And he's fighting another crazy bloke. So they are absolutely evenly matched, gatekeeping animals, really. I can't really describe. They both don't know how to go backwards. So I'm expecting absolute fireworks.
Is it like a Derek Chisora situation where a fringe world level contender, but they're very, very lethal at domestic level? Because you couldn't rule out a Chisora. They're that type of animal, yeah?
100%. These guys, they both strong. They can bang. Never been knocked out, I believe. Levan Shonia, he's got as many losses probably as wins, but he's never been down. He's an animal. You know those people who goes, the gatekeepers who goes on the road like Kamitsky. It's a proper real deal. That's a real fighter. That's a traveling fighter. Game, fit. So that will be absolute fireworks, I know. And the third fight on the card, which I'll kick off the card probably from, or maybe middle of the show, is fantastic talent. He's very well known amongst amateur scene. His name is Gaibatullah Gajialev. He was a captain of Baku Fires. He was a participant for Azerbaijan of 2012 Olympic Games in London.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic fighter. There's nothing that guy can't do. He's got everything in his locker. Fantastic boxing vocabulary. Still young man. Record got spoiled because World of Boxing, which he's been managed by and promoted, thought that he's so special that they start checking him out a couple of weights above. On his fight number 4, they put him against Denis Shafikov, who is an incredibly big name, fought twice for the world title, seasoned fighter. And you know what? Gajaliyev beat him, but only got a draw. That's how good he is. On the fourth fight, he's fighting. I couldn't find an opponent for him. I tell you honestly, the guy from Britain who took that fight on a heartbeat was Ben Fields. Ben Fields said, "Oh, I don't care about how slick he is. I don't care about how good he is. I'm going to go there and I'm going to bang him out." I said, this is the kind of thing I love. Ben Fields, let's go. But as we know, obviously, I've been obstructed. I can't take breaks. So I was looking hard. Lots of borders closed. You can't bring anyone. And I've got Artem Ivazidi, very durable Ukrainian journeyman, William Warburton kind of guy who comes in and tries to spoil his party. That will be very competitive. And I do believe it's going to last some rounds as well.
Brilliant. And in regards to the platform, Al, it's going to be a digital streaming platform on Fight TV. And what can you tell us about the pricing and where can people watch the Kold Wars?
Did I tell you about Fight TV or just gave it away yourself?
I've heard some things. I let the cat out of the bag there, but yeah, where can you tell us about where it's going to be shown?
Okay. Start again. Did I say about Fight TV?
Not on here.
Yeah, start again now. Okay, say Al, in terms of platform. Come on.
Al, in terms of platform, where can people watch?
No, you're too happy. You're too happy. Calm down. You're too happy. Yeah. Right. Just say, okay, and go.
Okay, where can people see Kold Wars?
Right, okay, let me tell you that. I'm giving you away something. The release is tomorrow. And sometimes tomorrow you'll see tweets, Instagram, Facebook announcements, social media, everywhere. But I'm going to give you that secret now. From Monday, which is tomorrow, it will be released on Fight TV. We know that platform very well. They're very credible. Fantastic up-and-coming platform that air in boxing, MMA, wrestling. And what they offered me, I thought was very credible, fantastic deal, great people to deal with, very flexible. And these are the kind of partners I would love to work with for the Kold Wars at this stage.
And in regards to costing, what's the strategy in terms of costing? Is it per fight or is it a subscription? It's
per show. We're doing per show. It's about $5.99 per event, which is costing probably the same as a cup of coffee and croissant, possibly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's relatively competitive, very cheap compared to other big pay-per-views. Yes, obviously the quality, but the card is there. It's 50-50. And all I want to say, I am your go and fund me promoter. Guys, you invest in me, you support me, and I'll keep delivering. I'm not giving you no bullshit. People in the industry know who I am, and they know how passionate I am about boxing, and they know the levels of fights I've done all throughout, from debutant to world titles. I am your 24/7 boxing guy who will be delivering you a very competitive fight if you go and fund me. I am relying on your help, guys. You go, you buy my events at $5.99, and I'm going to breed the events, going to bring British, Spanish, Americans, Canadians, Russians, Ukrainians. Guys, we're going to have massive boxing fest eventually, very quickly, if you continue supporting me. I am promising you, I guarantee, and the God is my witness.
Yeah, and another fight that you're involved in with the fighter that you are managing is Luther Clay. A lot of interest in the fight with him and Chris Kongo on Fight Camp week number 4 with Dillian Whyte and Povetkin. For those that don't know Luther, what are people expecting? Because again, on paper, it's another 50-50 fight, isn't it?
It's a 50-50 on paper, although if you scrutinize that from matchmaking point of view, Chris Kongo hasn't fought anybody at all. He hasn't fought anyone. The strongest opponent he fought was Serge Ambomo. Luther Clay was in the trenches all throughout his career. Pretty much 60-40, 65-35, 50-50 at the end. He's been in every fight past the debut. Mm-hmm. So, who do I fancy? I never would accept the fight if I wouldn't fancy my man. Really, to be honest with you. No, I'm a crazy man. I would accept. But in that instance, I wouldn't. So, I fancy Luther Clay to do the business. I fancy Luther Clay to open his rib cage wide open and take the heart out of there. So, Chris Kongo better need to be armored properly. Chris, you need to fix yourself. You need to have serious set of ribs really on you, not to let the African Zulu warrior to take your spirit out. So, but on paper it says 50-50 because Kongo is a slick operator.
Yeah, I mean, this fight was going to originally be on the David Avanesium and Josh Kelly fight?
Absolutely. But I think it's captured the imagination of the boxing fans so much that Eddie Hearn thought, I need to put it on Povetkin Whyte undercard. This is a really good 50-50. And no one will criticize me for that. And you know what? He's right. No one will open their mouth and will say that that's not a good fight. That's an absolute beautiful addendum to any pay-per-view.
It is. And the link with the WBO, it's a version of the WBO title, isn't it?
Global title. Very nice person, Danny Lee, the chairman of that title, based in Australia. It's kind of slightly broader on the territorial coverage than Continental Belt, but not as big as Intercontinental. Yeah, so it's bigger than European. It covers Asia as well. So WBO whole continent kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Like it's Eurasian continent.
And it's fair to say as well, if whoever wins this fight, that will definitely platform them onto the next sort of stage with the WBO rankings.
Oh, Luther is already, I think, number 11. And the reason why he's number 11, I've been offered to put him in top 5. And I said he doesn't deserve it. That's why I said he doesn't. Yeah. So what's the point of putting Luther Clay top 5? He's never going to be fight the world champion now. And if he will, he probably comes short because he's a young cab of the Black Panther. So I want him to learn his craft. I want him to stay 11. If he beats Kongo, maybe go top 10, maybe 7, 8. But Conor Ben, Chris Jenkins, Mike McKinson.
Eko Osman as well. He's up there.
Yes, definitely. But he's with the promoter who is very peculiar. So I could see some kind of very interesting conversations there. Yeah, but Eko Osman is one of those, a bit like Luther Clay, who wants that guy kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, and there are some really, really good names, but we ultimately would cater for Conor Ben or Chris Jenkins, of course, because I think Luther Clay, after beating Kongo, if he beats Kongo, I don't want to say when he beats Kongo because it's an arrogant statement and Chris is a real fighter. If Luther beats Chris Kongo, he will deserve every penny of recognition in order to fight Conor Ben. And Conor can't tell me, I don't fight Bams or I don't fight this guy, go and raise your profile. That profile will be serious. And in terms of fighter profile, probably much higher than Conor Ben's at the time, at that particular moment. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, there's a lot of play. And on Kold Wars as well, when this does become a success in the next few upcoming weeks, what's next for El Siesta? What have you got envisioned for? I mean, it's fair to say, Al, that this year has been a strange year all around because no one has expected this. Fights were planned in later on in the year and everything was happening. Then whack, COVID happened. So what else have you got in the pipeline? Because someone like you have surely got more stuff going on, and your brain ticks 1,000 miles an hour.
Brother, I'm matching fights left, right, and centre. Trust me, I'm working with my partners. There's some really, really big fighter who we know and we love him all. Just set up his own promotional company that I'm working with. So it's brilliant. The things are ticking over very nicely. And also, I'm bringing my own shows, and I've got very big events to cater for end of September with a very, very strong caliber card with British fighters involved. So I'm really looking forward. Man, I never stopped. I just only started. This is the launch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there you go. So I'm always working. We'll be bringing. I'm hoping to continue Kold Wars. I'm hoping to bring Kold Wars UK when Russians, Ukrainians, and all that crazy gang travels from across the pond here to try to break some ribs. You know what I mean? It's fantastic. Really, I can't wait. Break some jaws, break some ribs, or maybe get knocked out themselves. You know what I mean? I love that. Fantastic. All 50-50s, man. Brilliant. 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 Debutants. I want to run debuts.
Yeah.
But the problem is British Boxing Board of Control not allowing debuts, in the different countries. So maybe 1-0s or real prospects, Kold Wars prospects, Kold Wars UK, Kold Wars heavyweight, Kold Wars middleweight. The sky is your limit. Kold Wars everywhere.
Another show that was started a few sort of years ago that's growing in popularity is the Ultimate Boxer concept as well. So it can show that it doesn't have to be a bigger name to get the platform, I suppose, if that makes any sense. So Ultimate Boxer is an established name now, isn't it? And it's going from strength to strength, and it can be very similar with the Kold Wars.
It's a Japanese brand. It's completely catered from prize fighter, completely.
Yep.
And which is nothing wrong with that. It's a brilliant, popular concept. And I just don't like that format of 3 rounds. Not fan of it. I like real boxing, I want to give people a chance to get into the game, get knocked down, get up and win the fight, have enough rounds there. Because loads of fighters are handicapped by 3 rounds because they just can't get going. And other fighters will fade out after round 4. So that's a strange format, popular format for the casual. But for the hardcore boxing fan, I don't think it's attractive. This is my opinion. Not having to go at Ultimate Boxer. Love the branding.
Yeah. I mean, it's certainly interesting. What's your takes on Dillian Whyte versus Povetkin? I mean, you're going to be there, obviously, with Luther Clay. Do you see that as a very, very difficult fight for Dillian Whyte? Do you think Povetkin still has got the
most difficult fight for Dillian Whyte outside of Joshua? This is the hardest opponent Dillian Whyte ever faced. 100%. Joshua fight, yeah? If you keep that aside, if you move that aside, Povetkin is the hardest opponent that Dillian Whyte have ever faced. So that tells a lot. And who do I fancy? In my opinion, is 60-40 to Povetkin. Some people say, Al, you're a mug because you're Russian. Yeah, you rooting for your compatriot. Guys, never write off an Olympic champion who can bang, who is very intelligent, got great boxing IQ, and he's young 40. Please. Do you know what I mean? And also, by going on the latest performances by Dillian, it was touch and go. Oscar Rivas touch and go. Joseph Parker touch and go. Mario Shvak very touch and go. Just preparing. So I hope that Dillian, look, Dillian understands who he's fighting. I can tell you that now. He's an intelligent bloke. He understands who he's fighting. And as he said, Povetkin is old school. Old school means no nonsense. You kill me or I'll kill you means old school. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? So he knows, and I'll bet that plays on his mind, 100%.
And it's fair to say as well, the heavyweights, they mature. When I say mature in terms of boxing, they mature later on in their careers.
I don't know. I'm not sure. Let me finish.
It was in your teapot.
Maybe I'll pull it off. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. I'm just in the garden. Someone picturing. Sorry, brother. Start again.
No, it's fine. I was going to say, it's fair to say as well that heavyweights, they mature later on in their careers as well, in terms of advancement and so on and so forth. Not too old, obviously, but obviously, people like Klitschko's, Evander Holyfield and stuff like that. There's almost like an oldish sort of heavyweight is still dangerous.
100%. The heavyweight game is after 30 game. The heavyweight game is after 30, unless you're Mike Tyson. Look, everyone is different, but in this circumstance, I think Povetkin been in wars, definitely. But is he still dangerous? 100%. Is he still silverback gorilla, all the generation heavyweight? Absolutely. Absolutely. Dillian Whyte need to be at his absolutely best in order to compete with Alexander Povetkin. And I know it from 0 to 100, and no one can reconvince me otherwise.
Good stuff. And just very finally then, again, Kold Wars. If you want to just do your 30-second pitch, I suppose, for people so they can buy it ready.
Guys, let me tell you that. Kold Wars, I tell you why it's incredible. I told you about the first card. The second card is also European card, and the main event is an equivalent for Russians and Ukrainians, is equivalent of Luke Campbell fighting against Ryan Garcia. I'm telling you, because it's Aikshik Nazarian, who is 23-1, fighting against Georgi Chelaksayev, who is 18-1. Or maybe Aikshik Nazarian actually 23-2 or 3. But it's an incredible fighter. Both top 50 box rec, incredible guys. The reason why they're fighting each other, because I couldn't get a breed for Chelaksayev. I made 25 offers. I doubled my purse. No one wanted half any of that. No one wanted that smoke at all. Everyone been avoiding. You know why? They're hoping that small hole is coming back. They continue banging, traveling, journeyman and all that stuff. So they're not interested. All they want to think is something else. But I don't know. I couldn't get that fight. Everyone, I matched everyone, but I couldn't fight Chelaksayev. Couldn't match him because he's so good. So that's the main event. Then I've got you know what? You trapped him with 30 seconds. It's just 30 seconds.
Don't go on. It's fine.
OCD. So that show is really good because I can tell you. Look, the British show are on the 3rd and the 4th of August. My throat is gone. You know, it's on the 3rd and the 4th of August. I mean, right? Okay, let me just sell it again. Let me think. I'm hungry as well. I'm really hungry. I haven't eaten because I've been doing interviews. So I'm
passionate now. It's passion, isn't it?
Yeah, cognitively declining. You know what I mean? The sugar is low. The brain is not working. Right. Let me tell you about that 30th card. So the main event is Nazarian against Chelaksayev. There's also Vladimir Mishev. I'll tell you a very interesting story. Everyone knows Oscar Amador in the UK. It's a journeyman from Nicaragua. Everyone knows Oscar Amador. I mean, any promoter you speak, they know. For some point, he was fighting at their show. He couldn't go to Nicaragua and he's stuck in Spain for the pandemic. So he moved to some different area and he discovered a gym of a very, very big promoter in Spain. His name is Gallego Prada. Promoter. The guy who's got Musa Galam, who's got all the best sparring in his gym. So for 3 months, he's been sparring Kiko Martinez, Musa Galam, massive names. So Harvey calls me and he's saying, "Al, can Oscar Amador fight at Kold Wars?" I'm saying, bro, if Brits will see that Amador is fighting at my shows, I'm going to get absolutely eliminated. In Kold Wars, please. I said, man, if Brits will see that I'm putting Amador on pay-per-view cards, I'm going to get exterminated. I'm telling you, completely. He goes, Al, I thought you were not prejudiced about the record. I thought you believe in human miracle. I said, oh, man, come on. He said, tell me, why should I put Amador? He goes, you've got this 9-0 prospect who is number 317 box rec. I reckon Amador, at the moment, in shape of his life, he's ripped to shreds. He spars Kiko Martinez. He spars Musa Golam for 3 months. He's in incredible shape. I reckon he can do the damage to your kid. And you know what? Because it's hard to bring anyone with this pandemic. Lots of borders closed. I've got Albanian people want to fight. They can't. Lots of stuff. I mean, Uzbekistani guys can't come. No one can come. Lots of borders still closed, with Belarus as well. I just gave Amador a chance. So he will be fighting Vladimir Mishev. And Vladimir Mishev is 9-0 with 7 stoppages. Really, really good fighter against Oscar Amador. And that's how I'm going to kick the program from that fight on the 30th. There's also WBC. Sorry, talking shit, man. There's also WBA. There's also Right, that's it. I'm declining, bro. That's it. I'm losing. I'm losing the thread. I need to eat.
No, it's fine. It's the food. You need it. But listen, look, thank you so much from the Boxing Voice. We're definitely going to be watching this when it does come out on the Wednesday and so on and so forth moving forward. I wish you safe travels.
On Thursday, you declining as well. On Thursday.
On Thursday.
Let me do this as well. You continue recording, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm saying. So I gave Amador a chance to participate in Kold Wars. Guys, my British peers, don't be judgmental on me. The guy is in greatest shape, and I've got this Russian young prospect that I need to test. So I'm bringing Oscar Amador. There's also a WBA Asian Pacific super lightweight title between Kazakhstani and Ukrainian, absolute 50-50. That will be at the beginning of program. And there's also Andrei Sirotkin. He's fighting Artem Karpets from Ukraine, and it's brilliant. That's on the 30th. And on the 3rd is a British and Russian card. I'm waiting for I made an offer to some big fighter from up north, really nice guy. I'm waiting for them to get back to me. There's Kamrat Stepkowski, our really great gatekeeper who fought, what's his name, Kieran Conway recently.
Yeah.
Great fight. He's fighting guy from Chechnya, the prospect. There's also Lucas Ballingle, who is 13-0 British prospect, fighting a Russian guy. And it's funny because Mike Ballingle saying to me, can Lucas fight on Kold Wars? I said, of course. He goes, I'm saying, what's the record? He goes, 13-0. I'm saying, okay, let me see. So I said, let me shop the opponent. And I put it out there to Russians straight away, like piranhas. 4-1, 5-0, 3-0. I want him. So he's fighting 4-1 guy. 4-1 guy said, let me check this guy if his record is real. That's what me. Let me check that record if that record is real. So Lucas Ballingle fighting Arslan Magomedov from Dagestan. So you know Dagestan is the same area where Khabib is from. So these kind of fights, I'm telling you, these kind of fights. Sergey Shigashev is fighting against Obi Ogbunike, Kingsley Ogbunike, managed by Mark Fryer, really nice black fighter. Shigashev never fought a black man in his life. He doesn't know what it's like, so he's brilliant. Man, it's lots of great fights. It's done.
Good stuff. Al, it's fine, mate. Listen, look, enjoy your flight tomorrow and all the business whilst you're out there. We will be in touch soon, and I wish you so much prosperity on your show on Thursday, and long may it continue. But we'll be in touch, and you take care.
Thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much. I'll be keeping everyone informed on further developments, and I'll give a really, really good non-hungry pitch for the rest of my shows, guys. You'll understand that it's worth every penny. Trust me, that $5.99 is the best boxing money you can spend on Thursday the 23rd, Thursday the 30th, Monday the 3rd, and Tuesday the 4th. I'm telling you.
Absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much from the Boxing Voice.
Free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, from title, betting shows, the list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.